The Kobalt Tools 500 on Fox is sponsored by FedEx Racing. We understand every day is race day. By Sprint, get NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile only from Sprint, only on the Now Network. And by AMP Energy. Amp up.
123 laps complete here in Atlanta. Let's amp up with Dale Earnhardt Jr., who is now running 9th of 10 cars on the lead lap, about 17 seconds back of Kurt Busch.
One thing I noticed is the Hendrick cars are all running pretty good here as we watch Dale Jr. Got 4 of the Hendrick cars in the top 10, so all 4 of those cars are running really well. May not be handling really well, but running really well.
He got so loose you could hear the RPM spike up.
And the wheels are coming off the ground.
That was about half a turn of the wheel.
Yeah.
Over and back.
That's push loose. That's when you go push, 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 loose.
What are they saying about that car, Matt?
He was loose right before the last pit stop, Mike. Now Junior's complaint to crew chief Tony Eury Jr. is he's got a bad vibration. Telling Tony Jr. feels like that the vibration is coming from the brakes.
Yeah, we definitely have seen where these guys are using some brake here. In fact, we remember Carl Edwards was actually adjusting his brake bias on the car.
So many times on a super speedway like this, if you use the brakes and get them real hot, then these super speedways, they'll cool down. The rotor will cool down and warp. And every time you touch the brake, it'll make the car vibrate.
Kurt Busch, the leader, and the Penske team, along with the Gibbs teams, have had questions about how quickly the fuel is able to go into their race cars today. Jeff Hammond down at our Ford Cutaway car. What's up with that, Jeff?
Mike, it's kind of confusing, but let's try to explain it to you so you can understand what's going on. This is where the fuel receiver, where the fuel goes in. This is the overflow valve. If you look inside there, you'll see it's like block solid. You have to take the catch can, insert it. That opens the airway to allow the fuel to flow into it. And Mike, you were talking about the fuel receiver. This is something they use in the aircraft industry. It pulls back when you insert it in here. That makes it open up where the fuel can flow in. If there's a restriction as far as this overflow or check valve is concerned, that could keep the fuel from getting in there. To me, that's what these guys were working on. They were working in this area here. That's one reason why it wouldn't take fuel. If that valve is shut, it will not take fuel. So that's what I think they were working on.
You know, Jeff, what's interesting when you look at the Penske cars like Kurt Busch, there was a race last year that all of the Penske cars, they had a new little apparatus back there for the vent, and all of them had problems with it in one particular race.
And that couldn't be right now what's going on. Again, everybody's trying to speed up this part of it. And Larry, as you know, if you can get the car to take the fuel faster, the tire changers, well, if they can do their job, you can pick up a lot on pit road. And we all know you got to get these things full, though. That could really mess you up. And I mean, this gambling or messing with things back here may be what the problem is today.
Thanks, Jeff. Joe Nemechek back in the race after spending time behind the wall with brake trouble. Look at Sam Hornish and Bill Elliott in the Wood Brothers 21 limited schedule.
17th. Bill's running 17th.
Way better than where he started.
Not bad.
Started back in the 35th position. And what's so funny, Mike, and it's kind of what's great about our sport. It wasn't long ago, you know, you did the rookie foul on 18-year-old Joey Logano. Here's Bill Elliott, 53 years old, 44 career wins. He won the championship in 1988. He's from local town Dawsonville, Georgia. He's making his 60th start here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yeah, this is Bill's home track. Yeah. I mean, he owned this joint.
5-time winner here.
Yeah, and you know, Morgan Shepherd won this race at the age of 51. So the way you have to run this racetrack, and particularly in this car, experience is one of your best friends here, I can tell you.
You know, I say this in a positive way. I just feel like the Wood brothers own the 21 car. Being a single car operation, they're much better off this year doing what they're doing. A limited schedule. They showed up at Daytona. They were fast. They showed up here. They've got a good race car. I just think David Hyder and that group electing to go with a limited schedule is working out much better for them.
Well, that's what they did for years. And like you said, they got a great car. It's detailed out. They were bragging with how great the car looked, brand new. Hyder's got a chance to make them nice. They show up, they race good.
Well, back in the day, the Wood brothers would run all the super speedways and the road course at Riverside, California, and they'd run one short track a year, Martinsville, just over the hill from their shop in Stewart.
Let's go now.
So Bill in 17th place. He's a lap down, as are about seven cars 1 lap down, and a whole group 2 laps down. Meanwhile, Kurt Busch 5 seconds up on Carl Edwards now. David Rudiman back in 30th place is one of those 13, make it 15 cars 2 laps down. Krista.
David Rudiman, we talked about earlier in the race how he was so loose he could barely drive the car. Well, they have more problems. Rudiman coming on the radio and talking about the motor being a little slow. They're actually down a cylinder right now, running on 7 cylinders, the Aaron's Dream Machine.
My goodness. That's a Toyota, and of course they've been having some oil pressure and oiling problems. I'm not sure what this is all about.
Remember, that car came in here 5th in the Sprint Cup Series points.
133 laps complete with Kurt Busch up on Carl Edwards now by 6 seconds.